Aloha, all my paranormal people. Welcome once again to another exciting episode of Insane Disappearances as I delve into the mysterious world of people vanishing without a trace. Brought to you by David Paulides' first book, Missing 411, with 411 unsolved cases of people disappearing in national parks, forests, and urban areas, and sometimes right in their backyard. Let's begin. Once again, I am your host, Lamek, and today I'm starting off with a story that's not in the book. Once again, I wanted to kind of get away from that for a while because there are plenty of other um, cases and stories about people vanishing all of from all over the world, but most of them haven't been put, like I said, in his book. But these are accounts of people vanishing. Okay, now the accounts of disappearances can be traced back thousands of years to some of our earliest civilizations throughout history, like the Guanhan City um, disappearance. It is actually in China, but that part of the city dates back at least about 5,000 years. Now, it was a construction crew or construction workers that unearthed some masts and other artifacts from that era. They found stuff like bronze masks, gold masks, and even some marble masks of these weird looking. Well, the masks were weird, but the way they were made and how they were molded, it looked like some very strange creatures with elongated tube-like eyes or eyeballs. Um, they had like diamond or either diamond, almond shaped or oval shaped eyes. They had pointed ears. So these definitely weren't the Guanhan City people. These had to have been aliens from another world. Uh, Now the strange thing about when they found it, I believe that they when they did their research, they found out that that civilization had only lasted for about 300 years. Now also, uh, when they found the artifacts, they realized that the artifacts were broken, burned, and buried. Now the question is that oh, okay, these people that lived in Guanhan, China, in Guanhan City, China. The civilization was called the. I want to make sure I don't butcher, the name. The San Chin Doi civilization. Now, this civilization never left any evidence of their existence. Okay, like most ancient Chinese civilizations, like the Qing Dynasty, and all the others, they all had records of their civilization. Like mostly like drawings and paintings, and I think some hieroglyphics that was on certain walls in parts of their cities. But they left no evidence of their existence. Um, but the one thing they did realize is that they were gone. They didn't keep any records of their existence, and they were just gone. They must have been, I don't know, abducted. I have no idea, but there's no record of them. They saw that they did exist, but they had no proof of them being, of them existing. And that's pretty much it on that one. Like I said, the artifacts and the statues and all of the helmets and everything, they just had these real weird looking tube like elongated eyeballs. What that was all about, I don't know. Maybe that was just their way of describing these beings, from another world. I guess I'm not sure. Now, like I said, that was pretty much it on that one. Now there is even talk about the Moai people, being taken. There were stories of these giant people, like up to about 12 feet high. Now there was talk about how these giant people they actually inhabited the island of the Moai, and that is of course Easter Island, where they have all those big statues of these beings with big heads, big eyes, and elongated ears. Sometimes they even have some where the earlobes are very long. Now these beings, there's talk about how um, they were birthed by angels, I believe they said, where they say angels came down and they saw how their race procreated with other humans, so they became a part of that, and they created these. They birthed the people that inhabited that island birthed these babies that grew to be giants, and there is recorded hieroglyphs of these giant people. They called them, with the regular sized people they call them short ears, and the giants they call them long ears. There's even like drawings or paintings of these giant people with the long ears. Some of them have like two earlobes, like one dangling here and one dangling there, but they're like very long. Um, but like I said, there was never really any real evidence on those people. Now I think there was I forgot how many people they said was left on that island, because some of the inhabitants of that island left or were taken by aliens, and I think they said there was about maybe 700 of that race of people left, and this was in the Polynesia area. Um, yeah, but they say when people first discovered the island, like Captain Cook, who was also a world renowned explorer, he found the island and saw that the statues were toppled over. Why that I don't know. Now even Spanish conquistadors found the island as well, but they were around the time they found the island around the time when where these giants still inhabited the island. Um, Now, other stories about people disappearing go back to the Maya days, in the city of Tikal. Now, the where did they go? Nobody really knows. Um, Now, the ancestors stated in interviews that they went home. What that means, I don't know. But there are recorded stories of how they I won't say worshipped, or maybe that could be a good word to use, but they did worship certain beings. They even aligned their cities along with the Pleiades star system. Um, like how they say the Egyptian pyramids are lined up perfectly with the Orion's constellation, or the Orion's belt actually. And the same thing with the Mayan civilization in their pyramids. They are perfectly aligned with the Pallades star system. Um, uh, but yeah, that's about it on that. I mean, there's really I'm not gonna say that they didn't leave any information behind about their civilization. They did. It's just that they abruptly just left. They started building certain buildings, and then they abruptly just stopped in midstream. Maybe they got an offer to take a trip of a lifetime, and they went with them. There's even other parts of the civilization where they have these hieroglyphs, carved in stone of these rings, with rings inside the other rings. It's almost like it looks like a star system, but or a solar system. But other people believe that those rings that were carved in the stone were actually representations of a portal leading to another world. Maybe, I don't know. But there are stories about people uh, these shamans that have the ability to talk to these beings and the ability to travel to other worlds. Because there was one story about this one shaman or priest who had the ability to talk to these beings, and there was a wall and it had a round, like uh, like a round insertion like area. It's like it was a something that you can place. It was a an opening where you could place an artifact into, and they said there was this round disc made of pure gold that you could place into this compartment. And what had happened is a doorway would open up, and you can travel through it. Now, uh, this artifact has never been found because apparently the priest that was able to that had the ability to do that, I think they said it was taken with him. So after that, there was none of that. And I noticed that about a lot of stories about aliens that come down to help these ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, which I'll get to that in a couple of seconds. And if I don't, I'll mention that on my next video. Uh, they came here a lot during that time, giving these civilizations technology, giving them insight, or whatever the case may be. And then they just abruptly left and they never came back. Now, they have been recorded sayings that they will return. When is that? I don't know. But yeah, these people have been visited by these beings for a very long time. They could be ancient astronauts from our world, but just in a very, very distant future where they actually evolved into another type of being where they were able to travel long distances, through time and space. I don't know, but that is one of the accounts, and that's what some of the ancient uh, alien experts believe. But like I said, it's anybody's guess. But yeah, that's pretty. It's got some pretty deep stories dealing with the ancient civilizations that impacted this world way back when. Now, as far as the Egyptians, now there's a lot of talk about how not King Tutankhamun, but Akhenaten was actually a alien human hybrid, because they said that he had a very weird shaped head, an elongated face, big eyes, and a very, very long dome. You know, that which is the reason why they always wore those elongated hats on their heads, just like Cleopatra. You know, they said that she was one of them because she wore them same type of hats. Now, I can't imagine you wearing a hat that big with that type of shape, and you actually keeping it on your head. I would think that the heaviest part of it would actually topple over and hit the floor. So I would imagine they used this hat that they wore to cover their enlarged dome. Now, there was also talk about how the Egyptians of that era, when he ruled over Egypt, they destroyed any and all evidence stating that he actually lived or ruled over them. And I think it was mainly because they didn't want to be remembered as a race of people that was ruled by a human alien hybrid. Now what happened to him, I don't know. I think that he went on a ride of a lifetime and ended up going to a planet that of the people that used him as an experiment. But there's a lot of talk about that where these Egyptians had these elongated skulls. Now, other people who have reasons to believe that it isn't true would say stuff like they had this disease where their skulls grew longer. I'm like, okay, that makes no sense to me. That's just something I think they made up just so we can get away from the idea of ancient Egyptians being alien human hybrids. But like I said, that's anybody's guess. But I don't have too much time here, so I will start reading up on more disappearances dealing with ancient civilizations. But I will also, make sure that I talk about the cases in this book. Okay, so as always, in parting, aloha, mahalo, and hui-ho, which in Hawaiian means till we meet again. Peace, and be blessed, guys.